Good morning. Today is Sunday, June 16th, 2024, and this is the weekly Bitcoin price forecast. So, seeing where Bitcoin went in the past week and where it could potentially go in the future. So, the month of June has been very much so stagnant. This is a doji candle, pretty much. So, it's like it's gone up, it's gone down, and then just kind of stagnated around where it started. Didn't really go anywhere. And so at this point, we are halfway through the month. I do think we still have some upside to it coming into the end of the month and definitely going into July and August for sure. But yeah, for right now, we're just kind of teetering around, and we'll see that a little bit clearer as we go down to the weekly chart. But yeah, just kind of bouncing up and down. What really else do we have? Let's just go to the weekly chart and see what's going on. So we had this major run up coming all the way from last year. That was like a 7-month up streak. Like it just went straight up for 7 months. At least on the monthly chart. That was what it was, like 7 straight months of up, and that's a record breaking number. We also hit an all-time high before the halving. So many big things happened in the span of a couple months there. So yeah. Basically, where were we at on this one? Really, all that happened is we came up at the beginning of March. Like we hit kind of a peak at the beginning of March. And it just kind of has been a slow trickle down ever since. But really what you see here is like we came up, we formed this. It's still like a lower high right here if this makes anything. But I think this could be your high or low right here. And then you could just continue on to the upside to make new all-time highs. So really right now the all-time high is 74,000. And let's actually put the drawings on to see what that is looking like. And if this is a little cramped, forgive me. Let's take a look at where we're at right now. What you end up having is a couple lines. You have your support on the higher time frame. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attempts to try to break this level, but it could not. And then you had somewhat of a support on the lower time frame too. Like if you zoom into maybe, let's say the 4-hour, the 15-minute, you see that there are several bounces in this area. Now, we did just break down through this area. That seems to be reasonable for me. We could come down to about right here, 62, 63, and then turn around because there is some imbalance down there. And we'll kind of look at that on the daily chart. So where are we at right now? I think really where we're at, it's indecisive until it's decisive pretty much. I'm just waiting for this turnaround and kind of pull back to go on to the upside. And we're there, guys. Like it's still, I'm not worried about this going down really any too much farther than this. And if that takes another week or another 2 weeks, that's fine. Or if it takes another 3 weeks, that's still fine too. It's still the overall direction is up. But right now, it's indecisive. Like if anytime you've been doing this amount of ranging for weeks, from 3/11, so March 11th to June 11th, so it's 3 months of just kind of ping pong pretty much. So really what everyone is waiting on is a decisive move in one direction or the other. But the highest probability is to the upside. So let's take a look here at the daily chart. So really, like I said, just up, down, ranging all this way and down. It kind of like took a small dip here. We came, all the way back up to the top. This is a very strong resistance at this point. So 71,000, like really that $70,000 range has proven to be pretty tough. So you came up here, hit this new all-time high. We shot down. You came up again right to 72, and then it's like 71.5 maybe. 71.5 again. They came down just barely. It barely taps it. So this is, you got to give it credit. This is a very strong level for sure. But anyway, the imbalance that I was talking about is right here. There is an imbalance at this point right here. And then that's a daily demand. That's your daily demand zone. Really, I could see it right here. Like potentially this is like a liquidity grab. You put this right here, and then you I could say probably right there. This whole area right here could get broken. That area could get broken, and then it could come down here, tap and go up. It may just like tap barely below this to get down to the 100-day moving average, and then go into here. And then you have like the support right here. So this is a very strong area. So I don't really see it going too much lower than that before it turns around and actually tries to rock to the upside. So there's a lot of protection in my mind sitting right there. So it kind of swept this support on the lower time frame that I was talking about. So like I said on the daily chart, so you had this tap here, 3, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. You had 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, pretty much like 8 kind of pauses and or taps that have happened in this area. So I called this like a kind of a medium support and resistance. And then again, you have your all-time high up here. Above that, you start counting in bigger numbers. So you have like 75,000, 80,000. Then you jump to another 90,000. And then finally, the legendary 100,000 that people are going to be, ecstatic about. So let's kind of also take a look here too, and maybe potentially, no, I need to be on the daily chart. Potentially widen this out. So if I do this, maybe move this down here. Yeah. I'm trying to basically like show that the channels are getting steeper. And that's what you really want to see out of like parabolic price action. So it's like you're bouncing here, coming down here, and if we zoom out, right? So you have this channel right here. That is the original like kind of up move. And then this channel right here that is the next wave in the move. And then you expect one to be even steeper. That's pretty much like the classical parabolic movement, right? It's parabolic because like the curve keeps getting steeper and steeper as time goes by. The same way that like you look at this big parabola here. And this is just a model. It's not saying that it's going to match that entirely, but this is really what you're looking for, like that movement violently to the upside. So it's cool. Let's look at the 4-hour chart. Really not too much else to say. It doesn't make a whole bunch of sense to go down even too much further than this because we're just in a range. This whole area does look ripe for a turnaround, and yeah, I don't see it going really too much lower. Probably 64. Let's say worst case 63, even down to 61. So we'll call it right here. Yeah, like 63. Maybe that's your worst. And then we could go up to the upside pretty quickly after that. Just getting some ammunition to move the market that way. So let's look at what is actually going on in the news. Not much this week. Last week was pretty news heavy. Let's look at that. What happened? Yeah, what happened last week? Maybe it's not loading for me. Okay, well that's fine. There it is. CPI. So CPI, that is your inflation numbers. It came in actually below year over year, so that's good to see. Lowering inflation numbers. Month over month, it did not change. And the core CPI, that is, I think that's whatever basket they use to change that out. The federal funds rate, so your interest rates, those stayed at 5.5% for like the 6th or 7th month in a row. It might even be the 8th month. I'm not sure. And then you had PPI. So this is a very heavy news week. It was, things kind of remained relatively stagnant. There were no major surprises. And then you had like NFP before that. This upcoming week, we don't have nearly as much. Not nearly as much. So flash PMI, manufacturing, unemployment, retail. This is nothing. This is just a normal news week, in my opinion. Not going to spend any time on that. Spot Bitcoin ETF flow. So this was a crazy day, June 4th. So about 12 days ago at this point. They came out the gate at the beginning of June and just dropped almost a billion, so 800 million in one day on the market. They bought like 12,500 Bitcoin pretty much. And again, only 450 are produced every day. So that supply demand gap is crazy. That's nuts. And you see it did kind of trail off, but it doesn't matter in my mind because like if we look at this is the last major selling day, May 1st of this year. And then really there was no selling since then. Yeah, you see these little spikes down. That's fine. This is Grayscale doing what they do in Fidelity. I think the purple is ARK. Yeah. But yeah, overall, I mean, you see like the curve is to the upside. Like all of the movement is on the buy side. The sell side has effectively stopped. So we're getting there. They're just loading. They're loading the the barrel. We're getting to the point where things just start to take off. I'm super excited. This is an exciting time just all around. You have just pay attention to GameStop tomorrow. That's all I'll say. Pay attention to GameStop tomorrow. It's going to be a very interesting day. Interesting week coming up. I think we're going into a different era of finance for sure. I think we're going into a different era of finance, and things they can move very quickly because they move with whatever the social trend is at the time. So again, this has been Chris Talks Crypto. Check out any crypto-based resources on christalkscrypto.com. Check out Pulse on Crypto, especially the Discord and the top 50 picks. And other than that, I will see y'all on the moon. I hope y'all have a good week. Take care.